Welcome to Lab Life with the Air Force Research Laboratory.
Hi, I'm Michelle.
And I'm Kenneth. We are here today with Kaylee Diamond. She is an engineer here at AFRL. She works with a group focusing on personnel recovery and wants you to leave our podcast inspired.
In 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Kaylee.
Hi.
We'd like to know, what do you do for the Air Force Research Laboratory?
Currently, I work in a group that does training research for personnel recovery. Personnel recovery is when pararescue jumpers will be sent in to go and extract a soldier that's been stranded somewhere. So it's a huge concerted effort that involves pilots, PJs, people with medical training, a lot of planning, logistics, and intel to be able to go in and safely get this person home.
So you're trying to do it better?
We are looking at ways to better their training, and a lot of the learning takes place during the debrief process. So just running through the exercise isn't necessarily always enough. The big part of it, where my team is focused, is going back after the fact and reviewing what happened in the exercise. So that way they can talk through, what went well, what could have done, they could do better, and that way they can plan for the next exercise and try and keep improving each time.
Sounds like pretty important work. We know that you're also working on a big workforce development project and on your side time, or could you tell us about AFRL Inspire and what that means?
AFRL Inspire, it's a annual event that showcases our AFRL people, stories, research projects through TED-style talks. So 12 to 15-minute long talks. They can, talk about research they're doing. They can talk about teams they've been on, what makes their time at AFRL so special, that sort of thing.
So going along that vein then, what was the goal of making these TED Talks kind of style for the Inspire, or what are you guys trying to accomplish with these talks?
We really want to, as the name says, we want to inspire people. We want to inspire our workforce to be able to say, wow, I didn't know such cool things were going on, and really have that feeling of pride in what we do.
Excerpt: How to Cook an Aircraft. AFRL Inspire 2016.
Anthrax, black mold, Ebola, swine flu, avian flu, cholera, the plague. All these are pretty scary words in our vocabulary, and it's one thing when they're hitting people abroad. It's an entirely different thing when they hit us here at home. So what do you do? What do you do when you have someone who has contaminated the inside of your aircraft? Maybe they got Ebola, maybe they're part of a team that's been deployed and they've been hit with anthrax and you've got to get them home again, and now you've got a contaminated aircraft. Or maybe you have an aircraft that's sitting somewhere on a forward operating base and it gets hit with an anthrax cloud. How do you make sure that you can bring that asset home and bring the people home safely?
Return to program.
There's also a secondary motive where we want to use this as kind of like an outreach tool. So we want people from the community, say maybe small businesses or people from local universities or even outside of our local community to be able to say, oh, that's what AFRL does. That's awesome. So that way we can, bring in new talent and really just kind of market AFRL and get the name out there.
And this is something you've seen, it started back in 2015, so it's a lot of success from universities and others reaching out, talking about this, or they kind of asked each year, oh, hey, when's Inspire coming back up? I guess what I'm trying to ask is, have they reached out a lot about this? You've seen good feedback?
In years past, the event was pretty much just open to the AFRL folks in attendance. So just due to size limitations and also due to potentially some of the content stuff, it was kind of closed down. As it's been going along, we've been trying to expand the audience and get more people involved. So this year is actually one of the years where we're trying to open up a lot more and have the university involvement and stuff like that. So hopefully we get good feedback on it going forward, and if it goes well, then hopefully they continue to grow it in the future.
Yeah, so you'll actually have people from universities, the community attending this year's event, which I believe is in May.
Yeah, it's May 16th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Dayton Convention Center. And immediately following that, in kind of that lobby area of the Convention Center, we'll have a tech expo. So we'll have the 6 speakers that give the TED Talks, and then afterwards we'll have an expo where you can walk around and get to, hopefully, kind of have some hands-on experience with some of these different demos and technologies and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's really a great opportunity to see some of the real-world technologies created by our scientists and engineers. Do you guys have it narrowed down then who's going to be speaking or the general topics that are going to come up this year?
We do, yeah, we do. I'm really excited about the people we've selected. We have someone who will be talking about the Sea Stars Trauma Center in Cincinnati. We have a talk that's focused on hypersonics. We have one on drone defense, one about hurricane response using a coordinated app for your phone. So I'm very excited about the talks we have.
Those are great stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was going to say then, speaking of the talk, so I don't know how much you can speak on it. Can you kind of tell the audience like the process you guys go through to select these speakers, or kind of what these speakers have to go through to get ready for these talks?
We start out with an application. They send in a paper application that basically summarizes their topic, the impact that they hope it will have on the audience, and then like the visual or graphic that they'll have, like a slide or a picture or video or something like that. From there, then we go through an interview process and basically have the speakers come in and give us, a short 5-minute, either like a summary of what their talk will be, or just kind of, tell us some more about it that maybe didn't come across in the paper application. From that, then it was down selected into 6 speakers plus people who had more like hands-on type technology that we thought would be a lot better, like close up where people could interact with it for our tech expo. From there, then they'll go into a coaching process. So they'll work with TEDx Dayton coaches to kind of refine the way that they deliver it, make it sound more kind of like that TED Talk feel, help them develop their graphics and that sort of thing. So between the selection and the event, it's several months, and they'll be working with these coaches and have been working with them throughout this time to try and really like get their message solidified and kind of get that solid point across.
It's a really great development opportunity for them to build their public speaking skills and
Absolutely.
presentation.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's good for both sides, really.
Excerpt. Aim high. The heart of success. AFRL Inspire 2017.
So let me tell you a story about a young man who faced challenges. I was born in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, formerly known as Zaire, a French-speaking country torn by decades of civil and political unrest, poverty, corruption. Over a couple of years, I seen our living condition drastically went down from 3 meals a day to 1 meal a day. Then in 1996, we had a break. A friend of mine applied on my behalf, applied for the U.S. Diversity Lottery Visa. This is an immigration program where it allows citizens from other nations to come to the United States with a legal status, legal residence. I was selected. In November 1996, I left Congo.
Return to program.
Were you inspired just listening to, you got to listen to all the pitches or talks. Did it change kind of how you felt about working in the Air Force Research Laboratory at all, to hear all these great stories?
Oh yeah, I loved getting to do the interviews and hearing these people who came from all different directorates, had all different backgrounds, and we're even talking about different things. We had some that had, more technical talks where they were talking about research they'd done. We had some that were talking about things like, great connections and networking they've made and leadership skills and that sort of thing. But hearing all these people come in with that amount of passion for their topic and seeing the excitement and how they want to be able to share that message with people, it was a fantastic experience getting to be a part of all that.
We're hoping to capture some of the stories that aren't going to be part of AFRL Inspired 2019, have those folks on the podcast to share their story.
So kind of touching on what you mentioned earlier, though, how you guys are opening up Inspire here to more people this year. Have you guys discussed, even going forward into 2020, how Inspire is going to evolve, bringing in more and more communities, or any idea where that's going?
Every other year, the event rotates around. So on the kind of odd years, they're in Dayton. The other years, it rotates through the other GSUs. So they haven't picked the location for next year, but it will not be in Dayton again. So it will really kind of be up to the next set of co-chairs in the committee to see whether they want to continue expanding the event or if they want to go back to something that's more focused on the workforce where the main intention is. And certainly the videos are always posted online afterwards, so folks from the community can always watch them then. Personally, I would like to continue seeing this event expand. I think it's great to keep bringing more people in and kind of really uniting folks and making those connections so people can see where they can work with someone or something like that.
Yeah, so because I know the last round of AFRL Inspire was at our Kirtland Air Force Base location in New Mexico, because AFRL has several locations throughout the country and even some global locations for Office of Scientific Research.
Hey, so make sure you get your travel plans set, guys, going forward.
My vote's to have it in Maui next time, so
That would be amazing.
personally.
So I know you mentioned earlier with the Tech Expo afterwards. So this is just AFRL technologies, or were you saying this could branch out to universities as well if you kind of kept going along this path, like so people could really show off what they're working on?
So currently, it's just going to be AFRL technologies. Like I said, we'll have some people who applied to the Inspire process that they had, demos and things that we thought would be much cooler to have, like a hands-on experience with, to see, okay, for instance, if the project was about decreasing the weight of something, it'd be cool if the audience can go up and actually like pick up the original thing versus the new thing and really make that connection of like, wow, that's a big impact. So we had some topics that were like that we wanted to be able to have the audience be able to interact with. So there will be a set of, Inspire talks and speakers that are out at this expo. We also are going to have the 10 displays from DoD Lab Day there, which are also AFRL technology, again, from representing all different kinds of technology in different fields. In the future, I see it potentially being something that, it can get, universities involved in. They can kind of have like research posters out there. I can see, small businesses having kind of like a little booth to pitch their product and stuff like that. I think honestly, the boundaries of it are kind of limitless for where it goes in the future.
That's nice. Gives you a lot of options. So looking forward to hopefully seeing that in Maui. We'll see if we get lucky.
Well, Kaylee, we would really thank you for your time. I don't know if you could just pick one favorite talk in the past, or if you want me and Ken to do that.
That is honestly, it's so hard to pick a favorite. They're all very inspiring in their own way. I think that's kind of what makes it cool, is each person that can go in kind of connects to their own thing. And so my recommendation really be to, you should watch like all of them. But
Okay. So if our viewers do go and type in AF Research Lab or Air Force Research Laboratory into the search bar on YouTube, they're going to find our channel where they can subscribe and then see all the recordings from past AFRL Inspire talks. Thanks, Kaylee.
thank you.
Thank you for coming. Follow us on our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram at AF Research Lab. We'll give you more information on the Inspire event happening in May. And remember, stay curious.
Logging off.